So, this is a little rant because I've been reading a lot of comments on like Facebook, Twitter, and all about Kim Davis and how people are comparing her to Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks. First off, let me just ask anyone who's a Kim Davis supporter. Have you even read your history? Have you even read your history? And also, have you ever read the U.S. Constitution? From the First Amendment all the way down. I doubt you've ever read the entire U.S. Constitution. You cannot simply compare Kim Davis to two wonderful people who were civil rights activists. Why? Number one, Martin Luther King Jr. was a civil rights activist. He was persecuted because of his race. Number two, Martin Luther King Jr. was actually an ally of the LGBT community. One of his writers was a gay man. And he said that civil rights was not just a race issue, it was about everyone. Number three, Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on the bus. The bus driver refused to drive until she moved to the back of the bus. She refused to move to the back of the bus and was arrested. She was persecuted because of her race. Kim Davis was a government-elected official who took an oath to follow federal law, to follow the law of the land. When the Supreme Court ruled in favor of same-sex marriage, that made same-sex marriage legal in all 50 states, requiring government officials to recognize all marriages as valid and to issue marriage licenses to everybody. Back in the 1950s, there was a time where integration was illegal, and there was a time where interracial marriages were illegal. And then the Supreme Court said, this is a violation, of the 14th Amendment to deny interracial couples their civil rights and to deny integration. And that discrimination based on race was a violation of the 14th Amendment. They said the same thing about LGBT people. The government discriminating based on sexual orientation and /or gender identity and /or expression is unconstitutional because it violates the 14th Amendment. Here's Kim Davis, a government official, deciding to violate the law of the land. There was a time where the governor in Alabama decided to violate, that's right, the Supreme Court when it came to integrating schools, when it came to integration, when it came to interracial marriage. There was a time where the governor in Alabama decided to violate the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling. And here we have people comparing Kim Davis to Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks. For one thing, Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King Jr. were not government officials. Number two, they were persecuted because of race. They were actually persecuted by the federal government, as well as the state government. And here you have Kim Davis, who is an elected government official, who took an oath to follow the law of the land. Breaks the law, breaks federal law, is held in contempt of court. This is not a religious issue. Now, if she weren't a government official, and, someone denied her the right to marry because she's a Christian, that would be religious persecution. But her taking the oath to protect the U.S. Constitution, to follow the U.S. Constitution, and to obey federal laws as a elected government official. She got what she deserved, which is jail time. She violated federal law for denying civil rights to other people. And Martin Luther King Jr. even said that civil rights are human rights, which, regardless of who we are, we have civil rights for a reason. And here we have a elected official trying to take those rights away. And it's not just her. There are some politicians that are trying to do the same thing. Like, you cannot compare someone like Kim Davis to someone like Martin Luther King Jr. or Rosa Parks. She didn't sit at the back of the bus. She didn't refuse to give up her seat like Rosa Parks did. I didn't hear Kim Davis give a "I have a dream" speech. How on earth can you compare her to those two wonderful people when she's trying to do the opposite of what Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks were all about? Civil rights. I don't get it, man. Seriously. Stop comparing her to two wonderful people. She's not wonderful.